Biggest satch.
What's good, everybody? We're going to do this the old-fashioned way. We tried to do it live today. It just didn't work. YouTube's having some problems there, so I will take that down later. We're going to do this all over again. Welcome, new clients of Jazz Wealth. We were talking about how if you're brand new to Jazz Wealth, you're just getting started with us, we do this every day for you. What we're going to do, if you're not a client of Jazz Wealth, we're going to start moving this for clients only. It's going to be in our sort of members area. We're working on it. It's a work in progress. Want to have something sort of exclusive to you guys. But if you're just tuning in and you're not a client of Jazz Wealth, well, last night we did a podcast again. We do them every night. And I did a segment called Keep Your Dough Straight, where I'm going to teach you something about your money, try to help you save a little bit. Last night we focused on 401ks. So if you're interested in that, go to iTunes or Spreaker and type in The Dough Show, and you should see us pop up there. We also tonight are going to do a segment called Sad But True, where basically I read off two stories to my brother. One of them is completely false, has to do with public companies or money, something like that. The other one is unbelievably sad but true, and I mean sad as in the fact that it's kind of just ridiculous that this actually happened. So tonight, got a pretty good one there that involves Disney, and we'll see what happens. Let's see if he can guess which one. He's 2 for 1, by the way. He got last week's wrong. I missed, we did a one on the McAfee, the antivirus guy. So he got that one wrong. Anyways, let's dive into the markets today. Tariffs were the big news. Tariffs officially signed. 15 days from now, they will be enacted. 25% on steel, 10% on aluminum, except for Canada and Mexico. We're going to try to renegotiate NAFTA or figure something out there before we decide to put tariffs on those, I guess. So that's still in the works. Sounds like China's going to be in a little trouble here. I was just saying on the live thing there, do you wonder where does the money go, right? What happens to the money when it comes in, right? Let's say we put tariffs on something, they send it over anyways, they pay the tariff. I get it that it's a balance sheet thing, but are we putting it towards our deficit? Are we paying off something? Are we going to build a new airport? What are we going to do? I think that would have been a little easier to sell that program had we mentioned what we plan to use the money for. But for now, just a balance sheet equation there, and that's about it. So we're going to move on. The markets, the Dow was higher by 93. The S&P was higher by 12. Nasdaq was higher by 31 as of the tariff announcements. And basically, as I'm talking right now, the markets are still headed higher. If we look at the S&P, pushing higher after the close here. Here's the Nasdaq on the screen, very close to all-time highs. Tech continues to be super, super strong. Anything technology related you're noticing in your portfolio is doing quite well. The Russell 2000, your small cap stocks, companies that make money from the United States, that was down just a little bit today, but it's already starting to recover some of that. Want to point out a couple stocks here. Stern Ruger, these guys make guns. Look at that recovery just in the last 8 days. Almost 20%. The stock has bounced almost 20% in just the last 8 days. We go back 5 days for American Outdoor Brands. Those are the guys that make Smith & Wesson is one of their brands. That stock's almost up 30% in the last 5 days. And that's because Congress has all these bills, all these ideas, all these things to vote on or try to process, and they're not doing it. They're pushing them off to the side, and they're focused on other stuff. So 107 Republicans had time to write a letter to President Trump saying, please don't do these tariffs. We'd like to go about it a different way. But they don't have time to vote on gun control, which was such a big deal just a few weeks ago. So the gun companies here are like, okay, we're all good. Back to going higher we go. So ridiculous. Hopefully Congress gets on something there. I do agree. Something needs to be changed. That also I did talk about in our podcast 2 or 3 days ago. So something to check out there as well. Stock specific news, I'll just go over this briefly. Cigna is buying Express Scripts, so more consolidation in the healthcare space. These guys are all racing to keep up with Amazon. There is going to be a massive consolidation in this space, and it's going to be down to just a few players, and they claim that healthcare is going to be cheaper. I don't know, let's just see how this goes. If we go to what's next? Kroger. Kroger was one of the retail stocks to report earnings today, down 12%. So Kroger, big deal here because the technical traders, see that red line on the charts there? Yeah, you can see it. That's the 200-day moving average. The stock moved well below that. Technical traders do not like to see that. Looks like Kroger's going to be in some trouble for a while there, which takes us over to Costco. Costco was down actually only about 1% on the day. They reported earnings, which was less than what everybody was expecting. Company also said they're going to raise their minimum wage or their starting wage for employees. So the stock actually recovered there towards the end of the day. Tesla was in the news, and the president even mentioned Tesla a minute ago. Elon Musk shared some pictures on social media of them testing the new semi-truck. They were pulling some equipment behind it, and he put it all over social media. And everybody on social media promptly fought back and said, yeah, when are you going to make these things? That's great that you're showing the one that we see out there. Actually, it was two. But when you're actually going to make them so you can start making some money. So the stock was down a little bit on the day. American Eagle, also a retail stock that reported today, down about 10% lower there on earnings. And Wynn Resorts was in the news early today, but kind of disappeared. The stock was up 6.5%. Some of their board members resigned, just trying to clear the field a little bit since that sexual assault or sexual, the garbage that was going on with Steve Wynn. They're just trying to clear it all out, make people comfortable to invest in the company again. And it seems like they're moving back in the right direction. As far as the rest of the markets, crude oil, a little bit weak today, down 1.3%. It's kind of just wiggling back and forth in this range, so not much to mention there, just a down day. Gold was a little bit lower today as well, so anything commodity-wise is going to take just a little bit of a hit there if you're looking at those types of sectors. Mexico, I checked in earlier. Mexico was your strongest performing part of the market today. Almost up 2% because why? They're not getting tariffed, right? We're not going to put tariffs on their steel. So for now, they are, they're safe for now. We'll see. That's about all that I have for you. I'm going to keep this one short today. Most of the effort, most of the media and everything is just going to focus on these tariffs tonight. There is nothing wrong with what is happening. So if you disagree, that's fine, but all good. Right? Nothing bad is going to happen from this. I think the markets are realizing that as well. And it's not as nasty as it initially started. So all good. Looks like the stock market's enjoying that. I think it's a good move. We will be back tomorrow, Friday, to wrap up the weekly recap of how the markets did with your retirement investments. If you're a client of Jazz Wealth, thanks. Leave us a comment. Let me know if there's something you'd like me to cover. If you're not someone who's considered Jazz Wealth yet, we manage your retirement investments. But we also want to make sure you're keeping every last dollar straight as well. So be sure to check us out. Give us a chance on your Roth IRAs or 401k rollovers, whatever you might have. And tune into our podcast tonight. We're going to do a lot of interesting things with the sad but true, like we mentioned before. Have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you soon.